Hi YouTube, my name is Keith Callaghan. For the last 2 months I've been taking a variety of network measurements for the three major US wireless providers, which are Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. I upload this data nightly to a database and perform analysis on it using Elasticsearch. My location is in the Philadelphia, PA area. My hope is that this information is helpful to other people who drive test, speed test, and/or tower watch. Whether you like to follow this as a hobby or you use this to make a decision on which wireless provider you choose is up to you. From time to time, my plan is to do speed testing and various network measurements and show this on YouTube. This is very similar to the other speed testing blogs on the internet, but in my area of the country. The Ookla speed test app and NPerf will be used for the video demonstrations and to supplement the monthly reports that I intend to do. I have 3 Samsung phones that are used exclusively for these network measurement functions. I store these all in a black pencil box and travel with this setup, mostly in a glove box. The apps that run 24/7 are GNet Track Plus and CellMapper. CellMapper is a great crowdsourced resource of tower information. I contribute to this and also use this as part of my monthly report to show cell site build-outs, including new bands in my area. The idea is to have these phones logged 24/7 or as close to possible. The signal quality measurements are taken all the time while the ping and download tests are taken at a certain interval. Very soon I will be including the quality reliability of voice calls in my reporting. I've established a baseline over these 2 months. The idea is to watch the tower build-outs for all of the carrier builds. This includes the current N41, N71 deployments for T-Mobile and the upcoming C-band build-outs for Verizon and AT&T. My hope is that we can see how these networks improve in regards to all the measurements that I'm taking. The C-band stuff won't happen until the beginning of next year, but this gives me plenty of time to refine my testing methodology. In this part of the recording, I'm going to show you the 3 phones that I'm using, just as a quick overview. And as you'll see in the box, you'll see the pencil box that I use. I basically keep these usually in my glove box. But this GNet Track Pro runs all the time on each of the phones. Now I want to show you some of the analysis I do on the data that I collect. As you'll see right now, I'm in Elasticsearch, and this is basically where I plot. I upload everything as CSV files nightly, and I can perform different types of analysis. Right now, I'm looking at the map view of Elasticsearch, and I've developed some queries that I can use to show each of the wireless carriers when they experience like a bad quality signal. So the information I'm looking at now is based on the information I have so far for the month of September. And I have this broken down. I can look at the bad signal quality for each of the carriers on 4G and also 5G. And I'm also working on some other queries as well. I use this, just to develop new testing processes. So right now, just for example, let me show you the information I have based on my travels so far in the month of September. This is all the plots I have for, in this example, I'm just showing you Verizon, but I can basically zoom in and I can see some areas where the signal quality degraded at some point. And if I travel certain areas extensively, I'll look at this over time to determine whether or not the bad quality is a result of maybe network congestion or it's actually a dead zone. There are some areas where I travel often where I see the same spots show up all the time. So that will be an indication. If I see that in my analysis, I'll upload that information to my the dead spot section of my website. I'm now going to go to the Discover view of Elasticsearch. This is where I can actually do analysis and I can average out certain values over time. I use this for my ping testing, the averaging of my ping testing, the jitter, and also like download speeds. So right now, just for an example, what I'm doing here is I'm logging. I'm showing you some statistics for the download when I run the download test for Verizon. So as you can see, these are the days that these are the points when I've done some download testing, and in my monthly reports, I'll average this out. So right now, we're looking at about 38 megabits per second for the average download speeds, and I'll also do some analysis on max speeds as well. If I'm in an area that has maybe a new deployment, in some cases with T-Mobile, I see new N41 or N71 deployments, and I'll actually see some real high uploads in those areas, or real high downloads in those areas. That's one example. And then I also want to show you some of the reporting I do is when I see new bands show up. So for an example, on the Android phones, for some reason, and again, somebody might have more information on this, but the N41 deployments actually show up as N38. So you'll see that most of the time I'm actually using LTE band 66 for T-Mobile. But I have, I'm starting to see some band 2, and then again, there's the N38 statistics on there. And I can actually plot this on a map as well, and I can see the areas where N41 and N71 show up. But for an example, if I go into the other view for this, for the bands, I'll see some N71 here as well. And again, that's just some of the analysis I can do. And as I look at this data, I'm coming up with some other things I can look at as well. For an example, last month, I guess it was August 17th is when I reported it, but there was an outage. There was an AT&T outage for about 2 hours in my area, and what I did is I confirmed that was a real outage. I looked at Down Detector, and I also showed my the statistics that I gather that showed that the signal quality, or not the quality, but the actual RSRP level was at negative 132, and that appeared to be the lowest that my phone would go at that time. And then the RSRQ, or quality, was at a negative 20. And just to confirm, I went on the internet, and then there was a bunch of users that reported this outage in my area. So I hope you find this helpful, and I'm looking forward to making many more videos in the future. Thank you.